What if one of the most famous verses in the Bible is actually revealing a spiritual law of abundance? Millions of people have read the words, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," but very few understand what it really means. Today, we are going to explore the hidden metaphysical meaning of Psalm 23:1, and why it may completely change the way you see faith, supply, and your life. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalms 23:1. This single verse from the Psalms has comforted people for centuries. Yet beyond comfort, it carries a deeper spiritual message about the nature of supply, trust, and divine guidance. The imagery of the shepherd suggests care, protection, and direction. Just as a shepherd guides the flock to safe pastures and fresh water, this verse tells us that life itself contains an intelligence that guides us toward fulfillment. The 23rd Psalm is the best known of all the Psalms. We might say that it is the keynote to the message of the Bible. It expresses in simple language one of the most profound spiritual principles ever given to humanity, that when we recognize the divine intelligence guiding life, fear of lack begins to dissolve. It tells man he shall never want when he has the realization or conviction that the Lord is his shepherd, the realization that infinite intelligence supplies every need. This realization is not merely an idea or belief, it is an inner certainty that life itself supports us. When this awareness becomes firm within the mind, the sense of struggle and uncertainty begins to disappear. If you get this conviction today, every need will be met now and forevermore. Faith, in this sense, is not blind belief. It is an understanding that the same intelligence that governs the universe is also guiding the details of our lives. When a person truly accepts this, he begins to live differently. Anxiety fades and confidence grows. You will draw instantly from the abundance of the spheres, whatever you desire or require, for what you need is already on your pathway. Often the things we seek are already moving toward us. What appears to be coincidence or luck may actually be the natural operation of divine law working quietly behind the scenes. We used to hear people say, "I do not think it is right to ask God for money or things." Many people were taught that spirituality meant denying material needs. Yet life itself demonstrates that human beings require food, shelter, opportunity, and resources in order to live and grow. They did not realize that this creative principle is within each man. True spirituality is proving God as your supply, daily, not just once in a while. Divine intelligence does not operate only in moments of crisis or prayer. It operates continuously through life itself. Every opportunity, every idea, every path of progress can be seen as an expression of this creative principle. Jesus Christ knew this law, for whatever he desired or required appeared immediately on his pathway, the loaves and fishes and money from the fish's mouth. All things becomes possible when someone is completely aligned with divine intelligence and trusts it without doubt. This does not suggest carelessness or irresponsibility. Rather, it means that fear would no longer dominate our thinking about the future. When people are afraid of lack, they cling tightly to what they have. But when they trust the flow of life, they become more open, generous, and confident. This does not mean that you should not have a bank account and investments, but it does mean that you should not depend upon them, for if you had a loss in one direction, you would have a gain in another. External resources may change, fluctuate, or disappear, but the deeper source of supply, the intelligence that creates opportunity, remains constant. Always your barns would be full and your cup flow over. Abundance in spiritual understanding is not merely the accumulation of possessions. It is the natural expression of life when we align ourselves with truth and trust the divine order working through the universe. Now, how does one make this contact with his invisible supply? The answer lies not in complicated rituals, but in a shift of consciousness. By taking a statement of truth which clicks and gives him realization, affirmations, declarations, and spiritual statements help focus the mind on truth rather than fear. When repeated with conviction, they help the mind recognize the deeper reality behind appearances. This is not open to a chosen few. Whosoever calleth on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. The Lord is your shepherd, and my shepherd, and everybody's shepherd. Divine law is universal. It does not belong to a special group, religion, or select individuals. It operates for everyone who understands and trusts it. God is the supreme intelligence devoted to supplying man's need. The explanation is that man is God in action. Jesus Christ said, "I and the Father are one." This statement reveals the profound unity between humanity and the divine source of life. We might paraphrase the statement and say, I and the great creative principle of the universe are one and the same. In other words, the intelligence that creates the stars, the oceans, and the forests also operates within human consciousness. Man only lacks when he loses his contact with this creative principle, which must be fully trusted, for it is pure intelligence and knows the way of fulfillment. Whenever fear, doubt, or negative expectation dominate the mind, this connection becomes clouded. It is not that supply disappears, but that our awareness of it becomes blocked. The reasoning mind and personal will cause a short circuit. Trust in me, and I will bring it to pass. Overthinking often interferes with faith. The logical mind tries to calculate how everything will happen, yet divine intelligence works through countless channels we cannot predict. Most people are filled with apprehension and dread when there is nothing to cling to on the external. Yet some of the greatest breakthroughs in life occur precisely at those moments when outer certainty disappears. It is in those moments that faith becomes most powerful. This day the Lord is your shepherd. This day you shall not want, as you and this great creative principle are one and the same. When this truth is accepted deeply within the mind, life begins to change. Opportunities appear, solutions emerge, and the path forward becomes clearer. The message of this psalm is therefore not merely poetic comfort. It is a declaration of spiritual law. Trust the divine intelligence guiding your life, and you will discover that supply, guidance, and fulfillment are already present on your path. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to this channel for more metaphysical interpretations of the Bible and spiritual laws hidden within Scripture, because the deeper wisdom of the Bible was never meant to remain hidden.